Hey, everybody. Sandra McAllis, host of Keep It Spiritually Simple. Welcome, everybody. So, in order to not miss any upcoming episodes or shows that might of interest of you and you want to hear it again, you got to hit that subscribe. And your likes are very important to the algorithms. So, I'm internally grateful to all of you who subscribe, like, and share. And by all means, leave us a comment. Today, it is my honor to introduce Lori Lanie. She is the founder of Raven's Call in Sedona, Arizona. She's going to tell you a little bit about how she got started on all of this and wound up in Sedona and wound up opening up this center. Not only does she do healing work, she also does energy medicine healing. She helps those who are end of life, whether they are human or animal. She does a multitude of things. And then she has a space that allows other healers and practitioners to come in and do classes and workshops. And so she supports the whole area there in that beautiful portal of Sedona. So, Lori, welcome to Keep It Spiritually Simple. How are you?
Good, and thank you very much. It's an honor being here. Thank you.
Did we both clap at the same time? We both did. Oh my goodness. Well, I had the pleasure of meeting Lori when I was just recently in Sedona, and she's friends with some people that I know. And everyone was like, "Oh, you're going to be such and such place. You need to make sure you say hi to Lori Lanie." So when I first went around to find her, her coworkers and friends were there, and she wasn't. And then, boom! As soon as I went to turn around, there she was. So we got to meet and chit chat, and here we are again. So, Lori, what got you on this journey? Did you always come in with the spiritual healing side of you and intuitive? Were there some incidents in your life that may have created this? I'm at the fork in the road and I need to choose. What got you to this now moment? Share with our viewers.
Well, since I was a little girl, I used to have a lot of deja vus and a lot of dreams that came true. And so people would be kind of shocked when I would share, a dream and then it would happen. And it happened for a long time. And so that kind of went into, there's something more to life than out there, because I would communicate with animals, and I was always outdoor and playing in sports. And so, yeah, I started communicating with animals when I was little. So, but it's interesting. Raven's Call, I had an interaction with a raven 25 years ago, and that really kind of brought me to Sedona. But my little bit of my background, I wasn't religious, I wasn't a churchgoer. But I did follow a lot of the stuff. I went to church when I was little, and opened up some doors for me. But then I got kind of standoffish when they say it has to be their way or the highway, kind of and so I didn't like going to all the different churches, but I did. I tried it all. I mean, I'm writing a book about everything is because it's an interesting journey spiritually. When we have gifts and they get shut down when you're little, because, oh, you don't got to, you can't talk about it. Your intuition, or, follow your gut. Your gut's always right. They just don't talk about that. So they kind of shut you down. I let it go for many years and didn't do anything with it. And then I was in my 20s, it was probably in my 20s or 30s, I started going into, like Unity Church and other places, and looking into different areas of that. And then I came to Sedona and had an encounter with a raven, which kind of really opened up doors. That raven followed us back to our hotel or our condo, which was kind of interesting. We were out at Tutsagoot. Have you ever been to Tutsagoot?
No, I have not.
Oh, it's amazing. So it's ruins here in the outskirts of Sedona, out in like Cottonwood, Clarkdale, like going up to Jerome.
Yes.
And we were out there hanging out. And this raven just started communicating with me and just talking away, how they do. And it just wouldn't leave me alone. And everybody's like, "What's up with this raven?" And I said, "I don't know." And we had to head back because we had dinner plans to go to one of the local restaurants here, one of Lisa Dole's restaurants, Cucina Aristica. And and so we got in the car and left, and this raven literally followed us back to Sedona, 20 miles, followed the car. And when we got into the parking lot of where we were staying in West Sedona, the raven was on a lamppost. And I got out and said, "What's up?" And it just started talking to me again. And I just started hanging out and talking and communicating and didn't think anything of it. Hung out another hour and then said goodbye. And then we went in and we were talking about this raven. Why is this raven keep on communicating with me? And we just kind of laughed about it. That's Sedona for you, and
Yes.
didn't think anything of it. And then after we left the next day after we had a wonderful dinner at Cucina Rustica. Um, I was at work one day and I used to travel outside sales. I was sales and marketing for, well, now it's been like 39 years. And so I would travel to go to, I was in the packaging business to my clients. And all of a sudden, these ravens would follow me on the side of the road. And that happened for many, many years. And I would just communicate, say hello, and talk to the ravens, and didn't think really much about it. But they just kept on appearing and appearing, and to a point that I said, "There's something to this." And so I started doing research on ravens and how they have the largest brain in the bird species. They can speak up to 30 different languages, and just started really going down that road of, what is the significance of a raven? Well, they're the messenger of news, and news stands
Yes.
for northeast, west, and south, the four directions. And but the ravens would warn me about people and situations, and they would just come to me, and it would be more than just one. Usually they travel in a pair and they hang out, but they're not crows. They are definitely ravens. Bigger beak, a different wingspan, the whole thing, and they glitter like with the shimmer in the feathers, which I absolutely love. I'm just drawn to them. Yeah, they're just a beautiful bird, but they're also a healing bird, and they're kind of magical. They kind of pop in through different dimensions and do different things. So it's kind of interesting where the background of the raven comes from. So yeah, they've been following me for 25 years. I've been communicating with the ravens. I'm writing a book about it. My spiritual journey since I moved to Sedona, because after that encounter, I said, one day I will live in Sedona and I would have a business and have views of Bell Rock. And sure enough, 25 years later, I have a business here called Ravens Call Healing Center, and I have views of Bell Rock out my living room. And so, it's interesting how you can manifest through just putting it out there. So, yeah, that's the Raven story. It's but beautiful things that have come across out of it. Basically, I've had people come from all over the world that are drawn to Ravens Call Healing Center because they are the Raven is drawn to them. So, I mean, I have people that go, "Well, the Raven brought me." It's like, okay,
Mm.
well, if you're supposed to be here, you'll be here. So
Well, you sound like the Raven Call people. I'm still blown away at the 30 different languages when I can barely get through one.
I know, isn't that
That
It's
is
crazy.
so powerful.
Yeah.
Now, are the crows a distant species to the ravens?
Well,
Because crows have their own uniqueness too. And I
yeah.
ask this because in my water spout just above my bedroom, they come every year, twice a
Oh,
year,
interesting.
and build
Yeah.
nests and just
Yeah.
hang out. And I have grown to enjoy their call. And even when I'm outside somewhere else and I hear it, it catches me.
Right.
So they
It's the
must be
cough.
some kind of cousin
Yeah.
to each
Yeah.
other, I would think.
Yeah. They are related to one another. Yes. But they
Yeah.
do. The crow is smaller. They
Yes.
don't have the same lifespan. They live less. And they travel in a pack. You know, usually there's a lot of them. Raven comes to me, and even though they're usually two, like when I bought my house, which is interesting, I wasn't sure if I was going to get it, and I had a girlfriend who is a psychic, and we pulled up to the house because I wanted to show her what I was interested in buying, and this was back in 2018, and and I go, oh, you know, I'm not sure if I'm going to get it. And she goes, and she looks up on top of the roof and she goes, oh, you're going to get it. And I go, what do you mean? And she goes, look up. And I look up and there's two ravens sitting there. And I went,
Marking your nest. They were marking your
marking
nest.
my nest. And it's like, and I started laughing. I went, yep. And sure enough, the address is 20. So it's two. It's all about the twos.
Yeah.
So when Raven comes to me, it's always in numbers. And that's how they communicate with me. A lot of people go, well, how do they communicate? Well, they communicate is because it's numerology, everything. We are numbers. We everything. We're like a computer. Our body, we are computers. And so um, that's how I read and get the messages from the ravens is through the numbers and when I'm picking up at that time, you know.
So let me ask you, Lori, when they're communicating with you, of course, we know every vocal has vibration, right? So it has energy,
Sure.
it has a frequency. And so when they're communicating with you, is that vibrational frequency bringing up messages and languages within your own body that you can translate into this English form as of now? Or how are they communicating with you?
Yes, they communicate and they communicate through telepathy
Mhm.
and um, and they normally come to me in numbers. So, like when I first moved to Sedona, I had one raven, the single raven, landed on my car when I was meeting the realtor. So I just pulled into Sedona to start looking for a place to live, and a raven landed on my car. And the
Welcome
realtor,
home, Mom.
yeah, and like the realtor pulls up and goes, "What's up with that raven?" And I said, don't ask, you know, kind of thing. It's like because they're around me all the time, right? That raven followed me back to the place where I lived for 8 years before I bought the house here,
Wow.
and and that was just a single one, right? And it landed in the tree of where I rented on the golf course for 8 years. Um, but right after that, when I moved in, I would walk out and there'd be 13 ravens in the driveway. And it's like, okay, so that day, you know, it's just whatever was going on at the time. I just look up the numbers and figure out what the messages were, and then got clarification from them that was the message. So for me, they communicated through numbers, numerology.
Well, we know the significance of, animal totems and spirit guides and all kinds of things, but we also know that the raven is generally always depicted in mysterious, mystical movies and, all of what, later turned into witchcraft. And then, but now that we have all these new shows out about gladiators and, you know, witches and warlocks on the good side, the white witches, white warlocks, whatever you want to call them. But also, we have to look at this intuitional telepathic thing as, the feminine energy returning.
Yeah,
Having that subtle telepathic energy is very feminine, and we all have it, male or female. We've just been
sure.
very out of balance because, as we mentioned in the beginning, what you were talking about is intuition being squelched and not welcomed and not accepted. And I believe that we came
Yeah,
into this lifetime to live by it and to bring it to the forefront that it's okay. It doesn't matter what zip code you live in, what your clothes are, what your income is. All walks of life have
that's
it,
right.
and they're going to bring it to the forefront. I know when
Yeah,
I started doing my massage work back in the 90s here in DC, I had many people say, Sandy, you need to move to California. And I said, why? And they said, well, this energy is more welcome there. And I said, all the more reason to be here in the West Coast. I
that's
said, because
right.
I didn't learn anything from a book. It's self
Right, it was
downloaded,
downloaded.
right?
Yeah,
And so intuitively, I just know how to respond with my life. And then in 2017, when I merged with my higher self, we step together, we walk together, we think together, we make decisions together. And that is, I think, a lot of what your message is. You know,
yeah.
we do get away from it, but what is the one thing that makes us more angry? Is when something, you overrode it, didn't do it. The one thing that will be like, I knew it and I didn't act on it. And damn, right? But what if you turned that around and said, I'm going to pause here. I need to think about this, feel it. I need to ask my higher self, my intuitive body, all the circuitry boards that are unknown to most people within our energetic, physical, mental, spiritual self. I'm going to get to know that a little bit better before I make that decision.
Yep, yep.
And in your case, you were guided, and I think these ravens really opened up your intuition and all the things that we naturally come in with, but we just don't own them because if you said something, well, I know where you are, it's a very spiritual town. But
Yes.
if I literally here in DC said to certain people, well, this raven landed on my fence and it was telling me this, and they would be like, yeah, straight jacket, Sandy, where what well, you need to go talk to someone. So I have to be
Yeah,
very conscientious who and when and what I bring up. But I
yeah,
have found just in the last 2 years, fuck it, I'm going to
yeah,
say what I need to say. And because I've always shrunk myself to fit in, and my wings want to go out, and this voice wants to express, and it's always for the higher value of love. And
sure.
you're creating that in Sedona with Raven Call by following birds, for
Yeah,
God's sake,
yeah,
and literally translating and then navigating through that translation. And I have to commend you because look at where you've landed, and then look at what you've created, and look at the
yeah,
doorway, the revolving doorway to welcome others in and to let them go back out the door and be better in the world.
yes, yeah. And that was one of the main things that I wanted to do. I mean, I was told that I was going to one day open up a healing center. And it was kind of like, and back then I was in outside sales and marketing. I'm like, right, how is that going to happen? You know what I mean? Never even thought that all this would change into just a encounter with a raven. But that's what really brought me to Sedona, was that encounter with the raven. And then I took Raven's Call, which was a sales and marketing company, always has been since I opened that up back in like 2009, and it was like, and that's what I did. I do sales and marketing. I market people's books. I did all kinds of different things. And then eventually, when I got into the healing side, is when it turned into the healing center, which was, well, I just finished 9 years. I'm going on 10 years at my location here. So, Yeah, so it's been a healing center, since I came in, so and I still do sales and marketing because
Mhm.
when you own your own business, you do sales and marketing. So,
I'm looking
you
at the
know
little rascals in the background.
oh, I tell you,
Oh my gosh,
and
they're having they're
that is a
two
whole
cats. They're
oh,
two
I have
cats and they're having a good old time back there and who cares? So if you guys who are listening and not watching us on YouTube, that ringing of the bells and things like that, that's her cats, just going to town because they're just so happy right now.
they are very, very happy. That's a interesting story in itself, maybe another time because, yeah, that was a divine, intervention, and I think my cat came back, that crossed over into these kittens. Yeah,
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 and I
that's
and
some
I
interesting things.
you and I are going to do a whole series on passing over and what happens. And I do believe that, let's just say you have one animal, right? And another animal passes over, but that animal has an opportunity to come back and join this animal, like within one body. And
Yeah,
they're kind of living, this dualism with like
yes,
two cat souls or two dog souls. Or I mean, I think they have an opportunity because I've seen visions of, like, let's say an animal accidentally gets killed or struck by a car. I've seen their little body go whoosh, and then it's just looking for the nearest body, whether it's going to be rebirthed,
yeah,
into it, like someone's giving birth down the street. Oh, hey, let me head over there, right? Land in one of
yeah,
those. Or it could be, like another running rabbit. Oh, hey, let me go join them for a little bit. I
yeah.
mean, I've seen it in my visuals because I can see things eyes opened or closed. So I wouldn't be surprised if you've got a couple of them living in with those vessels.
Well, it's kind of interesting, the whole thing, since we are talking about this. My cat Max did cross over, in June 25th, and
Mm.
he crossed over at 21 years old. And he was
Whoa.
kinda like a spirit guide for me.
Yeah.
I mean, he was my ex-husband's cat, and then when we got a divorce before I moved to Sedona, that basically I said, when we got a divorce, "I'm just gonna go to Sedona to heal." And then I've been here ever since healing others. So, but, when I inherited his cat, he never came back to get the cat and left me with the cat, which was a blessing for me, biggest blessing ever. And I tell you, I've learned so much from Max. He would, be when I had, clients on the table, he would sneak in and want to jump on their stomach and purr and heal them. And then when I did the singing bowls, Max would come in and rub his whiskers on the singing bowls, and so he was a healer himself.
Hmm.
So when he crossed over, I was devastated because I had like 14 losses last year, 11, family and friends, and 3 pets. And so I was just brokenhearted. And I had a dream, a few months ago, that I was holding a white kitten with blue eyes, and they were the bluest blue eyes. And I had it 2 nights in a row. And then about a week later, I had a dream of Max when he was a baby. And I'm like, okay, Max is coming back in as a kitten. So I just kind of put it out there. I'm looking for a white cat with blue eyes. I even went on looking at rag dolls, or Maine Coons, or something that I could walk on a leash or something. Because I have a dog named Blue, and it's my husband's dog, and it's a blue Queensland healer. She has one blue eye and one brown eye. She's absolutely beautiful. She's 4. She'll be 4 this year, and so I'm like, okay, so we'll get a kitten for Blue because Blue really missed Max, you know. So I just started looking, and I was on the internet. You know how they have those internet scams, about ragdoll kittens, and I was going to maybe get a ragdoll, and that I corresponded, with somebody about it, and they wanted like $600 for this cat. And I'm like, that's crazy, but if it's the right one, I'll go down that road. Well, I figured out it was a scam and it wasn't
Mm,
correct. And then I said, okay, well, I'm not going to I'm not going to even look anymore. If the cat is supposed to come into my life, it will come to me. And I have a lot going on. So it's like, I don't need to be taking on other stuff. And then I met with one of my girlfriends who was in Prescott, who's a psychic. And I was telling her about the thing, and she goes, "Oh, our friend Liz works at a cat rescue." She goes, she goes, "Why don't you reach out, send a picture of what would look like in your dream to her and see if anything comes up?" I said, "Sure." So we sent the picture and she texts right back. She goes, "Oh God, white cats are hard to come by. And when they do, they usually have problems like they're deaf
yes.
or they are blind." And I guess it's something to do with,
Albinism.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, I'm just going based off of what my dream is, I don't know what it all means yet." And, and she goes, "Well, we don't, when they do come in, the kittens go quickly, but, I'll keep you posted." I didn't think anything of it. I said, "Fine, great." Because I had a Watsu class coming up in a couple weeks, which I just got certified in Watsu. Yay. So I got my 50 CU credits for that, and I get to do water massage. And so I said, not going to stop looking. It wasn't even the next day. She texts me back and she goes, "You're not going to believe this."
You're like,
She
yes, I
goes,
am. Try me.
"Ah." She goes, "This guy who was a cab driver and Prescott basically surrendered his cat and kitten that is having kittens. And his cat had one green eye and one blue eye." And I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. I have a dog that has one brown eye and one blue eye. So I'm, like, well, okay, well, that's kind of interesting. So she had kittens on February 7th, which is a kitten herself, and which is interesting because Max died on the 25th. These kittens were born on the 7th. So again, numerology. I just pay attention. I'm on it when it comes. Oh, and here's my blue cat. This one
Hello.
has, yeah,
She's all
she has
playful
one
now. She's
green
like,
eye and
Mom.
one blue.
Yeah. She's like,
Yeah,
Mom,
that's Mama.
keep talking to Sandy, Mom. I'm playing. I'm busy.
Yeah. She has one green eye and one blue eye.
Mm.
So anyway, she was the kitten. She was the mama that had kittens, and I guess these people were living out of their vehicle, and they surrendered them. And so she goes, fill out an application. They're going through the whole process, and somebody has them in the foster, and they won't be available until the day before my Watsu class. And I'm like going, "Oh, okay, universe has a great sense of humor." But if I'm picking up a kitten, which I was only planning on getting one kitten with blue eyes, um, and the universe had a different idea there. But anyway, so they say you have to go on the website and check, and then it's through this organization called United Animal, uh, yeah, UnitedAnimalFriends.org. And I think everybody should sponsor and give because they're just phenomenal. I mean, they just been amazing. A rescue place for kittens and cats and dogs or whatever. But um, anywho, so you have to go to Petco to see the animal. It's because the people that are fostering these animals are not going to, you want to bring them somewhere safe and somewhere
Yes.
where, they can
Yeah.
home everything.
I've
And
seen that.
they do. And these organizations, I tell you, they do a background check. They want to make sure you know everything, that your house is and
Mhm.
who you are,
You're
and
not gonna
that
hurt
they're
the
going to a
animal.
good home and all that. So
Yeah.
anyway, so they say you have to look at the website, and when you go on the website each time, if you want to adopt, you have to hit adopt, and then they put you in a queue who first come, first serve, and then you get to go see the cat. That's how everything works. So one day, I was at the Hilton at work, and we had a break in between, and I went on it to see, what was available, and the mother came up. And I'm like, "What is the mother coming up for? Aren't she supposed to be with the babies?" I was kind of confused. And I took one look at her, absolutely beautiful. One blue eye, one green eye, absolutely stunning. I mean, like a goddess. I mean, it was just like not from this realm kind of thing. And spirit goes, you need to adopt the mommy. And I'm like, if I adopt a mommy, then maybe I'd be guaranteed to get one of her kittens, I'm thinking. And it was only $85 to adopt the mom. And she's a kitten herself. And then
Mhm.
I'm thinking, well, then I can bring her in. And then when the kittens come, then they'll have somebody to play with. And that's exactly what I did. I went and adopted her, brought her back. Well, she she just latched on to me like Max. Same demeanor as Max, same slept in between my legs, blinks and when she communicates, you know, terrorizer talks all the time. Max used to talk to me all the time. And it's like Max reincarnated. And I'm like going, well, how could that be? He passed last year, but then she's born in January, of 2025. Max passed in June 25th of 25. And then my girlfriend goes, no, it's a walk-in. I said, really? It's a walk-in.
Mhm.
So even though I was looking at the baby with blue eyes, it was really her that I was
Mhm.
supposed to get. So, but I still wanted the baby with the blue eyes, right? Because of the dream. And so I ended up getting, there was two males and a female white. And this is what's ironic about this. She had 5 kittens, right? The other 2 are orange tabby, just like Max. Okay. Which is another crazy thing. So the father was a tabby. And so I ended up getting a white kitten with blue eyes named Jace, and I call him Jason. Jason. Well, Jason is a healer in Hebrew,
Mhm.
so but I call this little one Jason, but it's death. So they had 2 males that were deaf, and then 1 a female, and the other one, we're not sure yet if it's death or we're gonna have eyesight problems. That one still is not adoptable yet because it was the runt. And then I ended up getting, one of the, orange tabbies named Moose, and his name is Moose-a-Rooney, like Max-a-Rooney. So I have the whole family here. Wasn't planning
Mm.
on having 3 kids, but again, 3 spiritually, it's a whole thing. So, yeah,
Mhm.
now I'm a mom with 3 kittens terrorizing the house, all because of a dream.
And you wouldn't have been in Sedona if you hadn't been listening to the Ravens call.
That's exactly
So
it.
this wouldn't have, so you see how the path of intuition and inner insight, you navigate and you wind up right in the right place at the right time. Because these 3 are united in energy, which
Yes,
are bringing you energy with the power of 4, right?
yes,
And so that's freaking amazing.
yeah. So
I
that's
mean,
the
I can feel the
story.
joy coming through the camera. I mean, and then of course I can see them playing. So any of you who are listening on Spotify or Amazon or iHeart, you can always come over to Sandra McGellis, the YouTube channel, and then you can see them jumping around the background. It's to me, it's so playful and enjoyable to watch. So I love cats. I love cats and some dogs. Just
Yeah,
it depends on the dog, but
but it's just
cats have an
amazing.
energy.
Yeah, and they've been so much joy, brought so much joy to my heart. And
Mm,
I'm just having such a ball just spoiling all of them and giving them a good home. And the reason why I took the deaf one is because it needed to have and also to get another sibling is to help with that
yes,
and to force me also to use to the telepathy
yes.
on communicating. Because
Mm,
now I will snap, I will, wave at the cat. I will say, come. I will communicate through sign language
yeah.
with the cat.
Mm.
But the cat is doing amazing. You wouldn't even
Oh,
know it's death.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And
Well,
so great organization. I'm very pleased with them. They've been wonderful too. So I
well, it
highly
sounds like
recommend.
you're in the right place at the right time. It's all spirit driven and do you know everything in divine timing, right? Everything in now
Yeah.
do they have any feralness to them?
I don't know, I know that Yuki probably, poor thing, it was living in it had a safe environment and then was in out of a car and then it had babies and then now is in this, a safe environment again. Who know?
Hmm.
I don't know. I built a catio for them to go out on the patio
Yes, I love that a catio.
and
Gonna get a catio out on the patio. Yeah.
put them
I'll
out
have a
in the patio.
martini and watch you do your thing. Yeah.
And so I have a little, fish pond out there that have koi and
Yeah.
that my husband built for me, which is kind of a magical place, in the backyard because I also have a teepee in the backyard. That's another I gotta have you come up
I'd love to.
yeah, we'll do a teepee. I do ceremonial stuff. So we do drummings in the teepee and
I
I've
love
done
it.
massage in the teepee but it's kind of a magical place out there because I have all the lights and everything's lit up for the at night, and so it's very magical because I work also with the elementals, and so it's kind of like a fairyland out there. It's
Mm.
crazy. We see so much in the backyard.
Oh, I
So the
bet.
cats are big in it because they get to sit out there and watch the birds and do all that. So
Yeah, and for the viewers, the reason why you have, excuse me, a catio is because, as many people where I live, they have a lot of indoor and outdoor cats. They can't
yeah,
be outdoors because of the coyotes.
yeah,
There's
and
too
we
many
have huge
coyotes
coyote.
that just they think nothing of snatching a small dog or a cat. So you've got to keep them close and safe and in a pen and watched. You can't just send them out to do their number one and number two and have them come back and scratch at the door because they may
Right.
never come back. So I wanted the viewers to understand many homes I've been to in Sedona, when they have a cat, they have one of those built-in outdoor playgrounds for the actual cat to go, get some outdoorness.
And I have been putting them in the morning and in the evening. We'll take them out, and it's on rollers. So I just roll it on out, and
A
they
catio
all
on
sit out
wheels.
there, and I feed the fish, and then the birds come, and it's beautiful. So yeah, they're having a blast, and I'm having a ball. I mean, it's brought great joy to my life. I mean, it's you just don't, they love you unconditionally, and they're
Oh,
so playful,
they are. And
I
I'm
just
just saying,
love animals,
I can tell, and they're loving hanging out in your room there. Of course, they're always attracted when there's energy work happening, and you and I coming together, there's energy work. But it's cracking me up because it's almost like it's a catio for catios, and it's like a cruise liner because it can,
Yeah,
it can be moved around to different scenery. It's freaking
yeah,
cool. That's so cool. Because who
it
wants
is
to
so much
stare at the
fun.
same tree and the same batch of birds, the same rock? you know, the same, hey, let's turn you this way, northeast, south, and west, windows on all angles, some balconies. And of course, you can only take them out in the morning and in the night because of the heat,
Yeah.
right? So it
Yeah,
makes
and I
total
don't leave them
sense.
out there long too, I mean, only half hour or so because also they're white and they're not
Yes.
supposed to, the sun,
Hmm.
and that's probably why their eyes are so sensitive too, because of the blue
Yes.
eyes.
Yes. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because you're talking like that. I don't know if you met Kimberly Brighton. She's got Sedona horse medicine. Um, and she has like
I've
three or
heard about her.
yes,
Yeah.
she's on here all the time, and we're I just love
Yeah.
her. Just love her. We've become very good friends. Um, she had three rescue horses at different times, I think it was, but they're all blue eyes. So
Yeah.
she has to keep the cover over them most of the day because of the
Yeah.
sensitivity. And
Yeah.
they're unicorns from another world, right?
Yes.
They're just in horse figuring now. And your cats are from, who knows if they're little Marion or where they're from, but
Oh, they're
they're unique in
definitely.
what they are.
Yeah. Well, definitely the mom, if you really look at her, I'll send some pictures over so that
Please.
you can,
Yeah.
yeah, so that you can post some pictures. But she is just magical. I mean, just there's some, she's like a goddess. And
Mm.
then my girlfriend, who's an animal communicator, I sent her a picture and she goes, "Oh my God," she says, like, "What am I doing in this body?" Like she was like royalty or something, like, like, what am I doing here? And I just started laughing because I'm like, that's Max, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Well, we're going
Max
to
some
do a whole other
personality,
show. Let's do a whole other show on
man.
animal passing, people passing, because we're in this age right now, in this
Yeah.
energetic shift where a lot are leaving the planet,
Yes,
and
they
there are
are.
many people who are disturbed by
Yes.
by by that and have all kinds of um fearful thoughts and frightening energetic nervous systems about, oh, the masses and this is going to happen. But I want people to understand that they may be leaving this physical body, and they could be, physically, energetically on another plane, or they could be coming back in, or they could be walking into other bodies that are here, because we are here in this scale to up tip
That's
the
right.
world. And
Yeah.
so I've been shown this now for about 15 years. And so people went into the pole shifting. I said, well, it's the pole really of the ego to the heart. So dominant is no longer dominant heart. And so the two have to work. And yes, some physical poles are shifting, but not necessarily north and south. There are poles that we don't even know about, that is just taking the earth on a different axis. So
That's
some
right.
have to leave because it's not conducive to their energy.
That's
Or
right.
maybe they didn't step into their energy, and they need to go and evolve that and come back to keep things balanced and have some more homeostasis. So this is not a bad thing. This is the
No.
good thing. But knowing what you do, it
Yeah.
may help people who know sudden death, or even those in transition with your
Yeah.
energy medicine. Um, some can call it a doula, but I'm not into labels and titles like we talked about.
Right.
So we're energetically helping, just like we would energetically help bring one in.
Right.
We're helping
Sure.
to exit out. So
Exit out.
the
Yeah.
energies are the same, but yet we
Yes.
feel this deep sadness in this heart pull when someone's leaving, and then it triggers the aloneness or abandonment within people. But I think if they could understand this afterworld and some of the transitions and so on through your experiences, I think will be a very powerful show for our viewers.
Yeah. And then also keeping your frequency high. I mean,
Yes.
that's why I specialize in sound and tuning forks. I
Yes.
train and teach people to use sound on themselves to raise their
Mm.
vibration and to shift that frequency. And then with the type of work that I do massage all day. So I'm behind closed doors all day long doing massage and sound. So I'm vibrating at such a high frequency that when I come out and go into the 3D world, it's like, it's really hard to step back in. It's kind of like a roller coaster, up and down. I've been in this 5D um, world for many, many years. I've been doing this over 10 years. And it's crazy going up and down this roller coaster,
Mhm,
but we got to keep our frequency high. I
mhm.
mean, just to shift above all the stuff that's going on around us. The world is a crazy place, as you well
It
know.
is, and I don't think
You
people are
know?
understanding they're on this tightrope with their foot in multiple different dimensions and worlds every day, all
Oh yeah.
day. But we're,
Oh,
and
different timelines.
it's such a zen place to be in treatments all day and to be doing this kind of healing work. But then you have to step out and go, okay, the cats need fed. I need to take a walk. I've got to eat. Got to go to the grocery store. Got to go to a doctor's appointment. Got to return this call. All 3D, right?
Yeah.
But we're 3D bodies developing
Yeah.
our spiritual sense. So we have to learn how to juggle and balance. And I think that
That's
is
it.
what you present to help
Yep.
others to learn how to find their footing, regardless of what space, dimension, or place they're in, mentally, physically, or emotionally.
Right. And that's what Ravens call. That's why I wanted to open up a healing center is I wanted to have a place where people a sacred space for people to come and heal and to really work on their trauma and to really get into doing some of the shadow work that a lot of people don't like dealing with that is
Mhm.
stuck in their body that they don't even realize
That's right.
that it's stuck.
That's
Because all
right.
that stuff comes up. I mean, it's interesting what sound and vibration does because
Mhm.
it brings a lot of it to the surface, you know? And then I also do access conscious bars. I don't know if you're familiar. Have you ever
I'm
had a
not.
session?
Do
Oh,
share.
it's you could reprogram and deprogram
Sign me
your
up.
yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing work. I've seen people, I mean, people that had panic attacks, couldn't drive, just having anxiety come to me. And 1, 2 sessions driving again. It's insane what it does, but it reprograms and it's there's like 32 bars in the brain that work that, like I said, we're like computers that you can basically, like a computer, go in and clean up your stuff. Like if you don't like certain files, you just delete them. Well, we're the same. If there's something that doesn't serve us any longer, why don't you go delete it? I mean, isn't that get rid of it, let it go. It doesn't
Mhm.
serve you any longer. And that's what Access Conscious Bar does. So you could
Wow.
go in and delete the things that no longer serve you.
Mhm.
So I love it. It's a great modality. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
you're
do.
cleaning off the whiteboard for sure. Starting
I mean,
over.
I do so many different modalities. I mean, massage, deep tissues, Swedish, lymphatic drainage, table tie. Now I'm getting into water massage, which I'm very excited
Yes.
about because I'm downloading all these water codes and spirits like going, and I do retreats. So I am doing a retreat August 28th through the 30th, and it has to do with being aware of what we stick in our body and being aware of what we can do in the water and fire because it's the fire horse. So I'm excited about that. So it's just a weekend with Lori, and I get to go play in a pool. And
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
so that's a fun weekend. So I have that coming up. Yeah, I have lots of events coming up this year.
Where
We
can
do a
people
lot of
find
big
you?
events. You can find me at whiteravensedona.com, and my phone number is 928-202-1179. And we also do the art fair in our Bell Rock parking lot, which is this weekend. And we do chair massage, and then we sell beautiful art, and we have all kinds of cool knickknacks for people, pictures and jewelry, and all natural homeopathic products to help with detoxing lead, mercury, and arsenic that's in our food and water. And so I offer all natural products too. So it's a healing center. So we do. vibrational water that raises frequency. I offer tuning forks and have a kit called Magic and Miracle Kit that is tuning forks to help, and we train online to help them raise their frequency and shift that. And it's all on my website. Yeah. So
Well, I will
I'm
make
always offering classes.
yeah, you've got a lot going on. When I looked at your website, I was like, and I as anyone knows that listens to the show, they know nothing's pre-rehearsed. We may talk for a minute or two before we start, but I don't do any research on any guest. But occasionally, if I have a few minutes to go, let me just look at the website. And there was an abundant amount of workshops, classes, retreats, services. I was like blown away at what I was seeing. But I will have your phone number and your website in the description of the show notes so that people
Okay.
can check it out. And then I just look forward to having you back in a few weeks, and we'll talk about, the transition of ending of life and the beginning of a new life. Because I think that would be very powerful from someone who does this in her work and has all these experiences to share, because I think the world needs a lot of comfort right now.
Yes. And we really need to be here for others right now and to
Yes.
support them through this time, because we're coming through a huge power shift, change of
Huge,
consciousness.
huge.
And it's a new year, new beginning, a spiritual awakening, and people are waking up. And and a lot of people are going to be forced to wake up, and do it in the light, you know,
Yeah.
be the love, have compassion for people, you know, that's what it's about,
It is, and
to
it's
live
one
in
thing
our
to
heart,
say it and another to feel it. When you're really in your heart, wow, what a
Yeah.
beautiful and very vulnerable surrendering it is. Um, because it just stirs you and you just become a more of a transparent person, because
Yeah.
the tears will flow, or you'll hear and feel something in a different vibration, and your response is different, and it may look like weakness because we're taught that's a no-no. Well, once you get over that and you stay in that space of love and you work through building skills and honing in those emotions, they turn into even more of a powerful mountain climb in this world
Yeah.
that we're here to change.
Yes. And that's what we are. We're here to be the light for others. So we just got to shine our light.
Yeah, which means self-care. That means go to
That's
retreats like Lori Lanie is giving, go to all kinds of things, get to her website, get yourself into sessions, learn to do things. You don't always have to be in person. There's many things on Zoom.
Nope.
Check it out, call her, ask
Oh,
her a
yeah.
question, just figure it out. And then maybe have a group of men or women or whatever come out. And then even if you stop in for a day treatments or whatever,
Yeah.
get yourself to this vortex and portals of healing within that area, and then take it back, take those
That's it.
specks of graceful light back to where you live and let it continue to ignite.
Yeah. And that's what it's about. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sedona is such a beautiful spiritual place. There's nothing like it. It's very magical.
yeah.
I mean, it is. It's changed my life completely. I've been here 16 years now. Best decision I ever made was to move to Sedona,
Yeah,
you know?
I hear that a
It's
lot.
just, it's and you know what? If you're not supposed to be here, Sedona has a way of kicking you out.
Mm-hmm.
So I am blessed and honored to be here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the heartland,
Mm-hmm.
and we see all kinds of things. I mean, I've had all kinds of people on my table. I mean, I've done thousands of, I've been doing this a long time, massage, and I'm sure that I have massaged things that weren't human.
Oh, I have no doubt.
Yeah,
I truly have no doubt.
yeah.
And okay, well, girly, let's end it here. You're going to stay put, but you're going to say goodbye to everybody in 1 second. Thank
Okay.
you, viewers, so much for tuning in to Keeping It Spiritually Simple. Thank you for listening and hearing and sharing, appreciating and loving Lori Lanie's story. We're going to have more to come. So hit that subscribe, We do appreciate the likes and the comments, and we'll see each of you on the next video. So say goodbye, Lori.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye, everybody.